It's going to be a video on how to remove the side fairings, the seat, and the gas tank in order to access the clutch cable and a lot of the internal components like the carburetor on a 2012 Ninja 250R. First things first, we're going to have to start by removing these plastic covers here. This is just a Phillips screw. We've got some Allen heads, two different sizes here, and the smaller size here. So we've got the two screws here on the top next to the gas tank. We've got two up here in the front. Both need to be removed. There's one underneath down here, right inside there, and there's these little pop clips right here. You're going to need a Phillips head, rather a flathead screwdriver to pop those out. There's one here, and there's two underneath down here. You can see those very well. And then the last screws are this Allen here and that one right there. So all those are going to need to come off on both sides, and I'm going to use a drill because it's a lot faster and easier. First things first, we're going to take off the side panel here. Now we've got all the screws out, we just need to pop the little guys out right there. And we're just going to stick our screwdriver in there and kind of pry it out a little bit. Just like that. It comes right out. Now you've got the ones on the bottom down here as well. Just like that. Now our side fairing should be free to come apart. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this guy off. There's three connection points. There's one right behind here. Just gently pull. There's one up here. And then the final one is up front here. So got that off. Set that somewhere safe so it's not going to get scratched. And now with the actual large side fairing here, just going to pull up over top of these two covers here. So it comes, and there's little snap points all along this edge here, so you're going to have to work those free. Just give it a little tug on it, it'll pop right off. And one more thing that you're going to have to take care of is this clip here. This is for your turn indicator. Now you should be able to just push on it right here. There should be a little tab. Mine's broken, however, so I have to use a screwdriver to wedge it in there and pull it free. I don't know if I can do this one-handed. Okay, my clip is free now, and I should be able to just pull along here. And it should just pop free, just like that. And it's off. So that's all we got to do there. And do the same thing on the other side. And I'll be with you in a moment. Okay, now we've got both side fairings off. Next thing that we're going to need to do is to take the seat off. So you see there's a bolt here, and there's a bolt just like it on the other side. Let's just remove both of those bolts there. And now for the seat, all you need to do is pull up and back. It should pop right out. And you heard something fall. It was this guy right here. It's a little washer nut that sits in between the plastic seat hole here and the actual bolt. So there's going to be one on each side. This is the one that fell out. It's on the ground on this side. So make sure that you grab these out. Otherwise you'll lose them, and that'll be a big problem. Now that we've got the seat off, I'll go ahead and show you the gas tank here. The only bolts you're going to need to remove for the gas tank are these two right here, and they're at the back of the tank. A couple other things that you're going to need to remove are these hoses here up at the front. Now, mine came pre-marked with some red and blue dots here on the first two, and this is just some tape that I had, the electrical tape to make it so I put them back in the right spot. So I put the red with the red, and there's some pink here. I didn't have any blue, so I take some pink up here, and then the last one is just unmarked. And then under here you've got your fuel switch. It's going to have 2 hoses that are going to come off. They're different sizes, so it's pretty hard to get those mixed up. I'm going to start by pulling these hoses off. Now, these clips don't have too much tension on them, but the hoses may be suctioned on there. And be careful, because this first one's going to have some gasoline in it. So if it's stuck, you may need to use a screwdriver. In my case, I didn't have to. This last one's usually the hardest, though. And you want to be careful, especially if you've got these a little bit older. These hoses may be a little bit more brittle. So I'm just going to stick a screwdriver up here and kind of help it off. That's probably far enough. Pull it off the rest of the way. Okay, so that's that. And up here, we want to make sure that these are clear and off, because we're actually going to lift the tank off here in a minute. We'll get our 10mm socket with the extender. And we're going to loosen up these nuts here, bolts. Okay, so now we've got those off, we can go ahead and lift the tank up. Mine's pretty full, so it's going to be a little heavy. And underneath here, you're going to be able to see those 2 hoses here. So you're going to need to remove those. Same way we did the other ones. These are a little bit easier to get off. Those hoses here, we're going to need to get a pair of pliers to loosen this clip here down, and we should be able to just pull this off now. Pull that right off of there. A little bit of gas may come out, and that's okay. And for the second one, the same thing. Loosen that down. We should be able to pull it right off of there. There we go. Okay, and for the last part, there's one more clip we have to undo, and it's underneath. So you see that green clip there? You're going to need to do that. That's the wire that sends it to your fuel gauge. So make sure you put that back together when you're all done. I've forgotten it a couple times, and I didn't have a fuel gauge until I took it all apart again. So it's just a pinch clip. Just go ahead and remove it with your hands. Okay, so now that all the clips and bolts are removed, hoses and such, we're going to just lift the tank up and kind of slide it down backwards. And then we're going to set it down on top of this bucket here so we don't set the fuel switch down onto the ground and break it off. So just going to lift it up, like down and back, and set it down onto the bucket. Now you can see down inside. You can get to your carburetors, you can get to your choke adjustment here. That's all there is to it. That's pretty easy. It's a basic step to a bunch of the maintenance you're going to need to do on the bike. It's going to need to take that tank off to get to a lot of stuff.